most people are not fully aware of all their personality traits. We like to imagine ourselves as being intelligent or generous or good-natured or practically gifted and whatnot. And there are other qualities of our conscious personality, inferior qualities, which we know somewhere. I mean, the surroundings tell us about them generally, and in quarrels it comes out. But we tend to push it into the shadow. We don't look at it. And when we think about ourselves, we forget about these qualities. Only our best friends and people we live with, our marital partners, can generally very clearly point out these more inferior traits. Because of wanting to play a social role, most people identify more with their positive qualities, and therefore the shadow is generally more awkward, inferior, sometimes a bit evil, or socially unadapted. But that is not always so. There are people who prefer to live their worst side, and then their shadow is positive. There has been made studies among criminals who live, so to speak, the worst side of their personality, and then they have a positive shadow. They have a well-meaning helper of man as a shadow figure. But the normal average is that we identify or prefer to identify more with our positive and developed traits of character, and therefore push more the inferior side into the shadow. The most famous example is Mr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. That is a literary representation where we can really see how man and his shadow live together and act upon each other. Everybody casts a shadow, so to speak, by the very fact that we are, for instance, if we use a lot of intellectual thinking, our feeling will be relatively inferior or undeveloped because we don't give it enough time. Or somebody who works mostly with machines and technical things tends to neglect his fantasy, his passive fantasizing or his artistic gifts. And so if we repress the shadow, we are only half people. That's why there are in literature such tales that the devil steals the shadow from people, and then they are, so to speak, in the claws of the devil, because we need a shadow. The shadow is what keeps us down to earth, which reminds us of our incompleteness, and which also provides us with complementations. We would be very poor if we were only what we imagine to be.